and welcome to KC360's podcast on navigating college admissions. I'm Christy, your host, and during our time together, we'll cover college admission tips and tricks to help your college search be a success. I'm excited to introduce you if you don't know her, or just reintroduce you and reconnect you with Sharon McMahon. She is considered America's civics/governor teacher, and really wanted to talk to students about your next steps in a book that I felt like my own students were really transformed by, and I was as well. So Sharon, welcome.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Let's talk about your book in the context of a great graduation gift. I know parents are always looking for meaningful graduation gifts. You have high school students. I have high school students.
Yep.
We know that they want money, but a book is a great way to pair that money with something meaningful and also cash.
Yeah.
And the book, Small and Mighty, I know has really helped a lot of students and individuals think about how our actions really do mighty things. So, you know, you have, again, high school students. Talk to them about how their actions, however small, really can equal mighty things.
I think it's really easy to get overwhelmed in the sense of like, what am I supposed to do with my future? How am I supposed to, carry out the next 35 things so that I can be a millionaire and, do all of these amazing things later in my life? It's easy to become overwhelmed. And I think that's something lots of humans struggle with. It's not just high school students, that a lot of humans feel like that. And I think one of the things that had really helped me reframe this way of thinking of like, I'll never be rich and famous. I'll never be the president. I'm never going to be able to give everybody $1 million, whatever, thing that I feel like I'll never be able to achieve. It helped me to realize that anyone that I admire from history, fill in the blank. It could be Abraham Lincoln or Betsy Ross. It does not matter. Anyone that I admire from history, the way that they impacted their communities, the way that they ended up in the history books. And this is true of George Washington, and this is true of Rosa Parks. They just kept doing the next needed thing. They just kept putting one foot in front of the other. You can have all kinds of plans of like, I'm going to go to this college and I'm going to get a degree in this thing. And that's fantastic. That's a fantastic thing to think about your goals for the future. But I think it's also imperative that we constantly look for ways to do for one person what we wish we could do for everybody. And that is ultimately how communities are changed. That is ultimately how hearts and minds are formed, is by continuing to do for one what we wish we could do for all. And often that is the easiest and best way to do the next needed thing is, if you feel like, I really care about education. I really care about homelessness. I really care about the environment. I really care about animals. Whatever it is, there is a way to help one person in a way that you wish you could help them all. And those types of actions help grow momentum. Don't underestimate doing one small thing today.
And that can be texting a friend, checking on them. That can be taking the garbage out for your parents. That can be setting up some time with kids in your community. I know sometimes we feel as high school students we're really limited, or even college, like I don't have any money, I can't do anything, but you can volunteer somewhere.
I don't have a car.
Yeah, you can volunteer somewhere, you can do something, you can, even gasp, check on your professors. They're humans too.
Yeah, right. We always think about wanting to change the world, right? And when that seems overwhelming, which it always does, we need to make the problem smaller. And this is just true of problems in general. If a problem seems too big and overwhelming, this research paper is going to take me 11 years. I'm never going to get this done. How am I supposed to write 10 pages? Any problem that is too big, the way to solve that really big problem is to make it smaller. It's to make it smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller until you have arrived at a piece that is manageable. And then from having completed that piece, now you can do the next thing. So this is a concept that is true of just sort of time management, life skills, How am I ever supposed to get a college degree? Well, you don't. You don't get a college degree overnight. You literally start by filling out an application, filling out one page of an application. That's how you start getting a college degree. It's not like do 1,000 assignments overnight. And the same thing is true of your community. When we think about changing the world, we have to start by thinking about impacting those immediately around us. That could be just the people in our classrooms. That could be just the people in our family. That could be the people in a house of worship. It could be the people in a group of lessons that you take, a karate lesson. Like it could literally just be as small as your group of friends. When something seems overwhelming, keep making it smaller.
I love this practical advice because I think it doesn't matter who you are or what stage you're in. Students, if your next needed thing is a paragraph on your
Mhm.
college essay, if it's like Sharon said, a
One
page,
page.
one page of your college
Mhm.
application, one 5-minute research time,
Mhm.
for a degree you may be interested in, or one, box of snacks for some kids that you're not sure maybe have food security.
Mhm. Mhm.
There's just lots of tiny things that we can do that I think ultimately make up super mighty acts. And we're seeing that today. And I think something that struck me about this should be so obvious, but something that struck me about the whole ethos of your book was that it's not like grand rhetoric or big words or mighty speeches, although there were some of those, right? But
Mhm.
it was
Mhm.
those small next actions that really made the difference and the persistence of it. So whether it's your
Mhm.
persistence, 30 minutes a week, whether it's, one text, hey, how are you? I haven't talked to you in 6 months, but
Mhm.
just
Mhm.
checking on you.
Mm. I love that. And I love too this idea that and this is true of the people in the book. And again, this is true of anybody you admire in your life. We can all think back to somebody who made a difference in our lives, whether it's a friend or family member or a leader of some kind. And often what they did for us seems almost like inconsequential. It almost seems like, why do you remember that? That's kind of silly. But to you in that moment, it was not. And I think about a story from Abraham Lincoln, for example. Abraham Lincoln really struggled with depression. He struggled very significantly with his mental health before he was president and during his presidency. We view him as, almost every scholar views him as the single greatest United States president. And he's somebody that is widely admired, but he definitely had his struggles. And there were times where he could pinpoint one kind sentence that somebody uttered that helped him keep going. A sentence from his sister, a sentence from a neighbor who saw him wandering around in the woods with a gun. Okay, like that is how significantly his mental health was sometimes impacted. And the neighbors were like, you know what? Come have dinner at our house. Let me take this from you, like this whatever this gun was. Let me take this. You come on in here, you take your coat off, and why don't you stay with us for a couple of weeks till you get yourself sort of situated here a little bit better. This is back when he was a younger man working as a postmaster. Um, and there are many other examples that Abraham Lincoln leaves us in his writings of just a few sentences that somebody told him that changed the trajectory of his life. They had no way of knowing that was going to be the case, but because the directory of his life was changed, he is able to become Abraham Lincoln. And that I guarantee you, his sister was not like, well, I'm going to say these words and someday you're going to become Abraham Lincoln. She had no way of knowing the impact that she was going to have on his young life. That neighbor had no way of knowing what she was doing was going to impact the future United States president. So we do have to have a level of trust that what we do will matter. And we may not see the results of our efforts today, tomorrow, or even in 5 years, but they do matter. And they matter sometimes in ways you may never realize, but you have to know that that is absolutely true.
I think becoming is something that a lot of students don't give enough credence to. We are all in this epoch of becoming, and you don't do it overnight, and you don't do it in 10 years and who you are going to be, who you were in, um, you know, doing the paper route. so many years ago versus who you are now and how you're still involved in paper and media. Those things are all connected, but even if you just approach college or your next steps as like, who do I want to become? What environment do I want to become in? I think is really important. And the stories that you will find in Small and Mighty are not just hopeful and inspirational, but really practical in the sense of you being able to apply those to your current day. And that's one thing I really appreciate. So, students, if you want to listen to it, Sharon reads it herself, which is fantastic. And then if you have littles in your family, there's a brand new children's version, I think ages 4 to 8, I saw somewhere coming out, and it's beautifully illustrated. It's just absolutely stunning. So that's available May 1. And no matter what ages you are, it covers the span now, which I'm really excited about, even though mine are not that little anymore. So make sure that you check that out after May if you're interested in smaller kids. But, again, Small and Mighty is a great graduation gift. It is nothing but full of hope and inspiration for that next right thing, that next step for your kids. And then you can just pair it with what they all want. Money, gift card.
Money and a phone charger. Did you know that phone charger is really number 2 behind money? So here's your gift. It's a box with a book and some cash and a phone charger, and your child will leave their graduation experience happy.
Wrap it up with the charger.
That can be the bow.
Yeah.
Get the 12-foot version. Make a nice little bow.
That's right. That's right. Well, we'll make sure all your links are in the show notes and additional information for you. I know you do some great deep dives on history. And if you've got a student that loves history, that's another great gift for them is the book club with Sharon and that opportunity for them to learn more about just history in general and great people that have impacted our lives. And thank you for your investment in all of us as America's government teacher and for the inspiration that you have allowed all students to learn about and otherwise through your book.
Thank you. Thanks so much for inviting me. I appreciate it.
A question I am asked daily is, how do I get scholarships? In response to this critical question, I've created the Scholarship Secrets course. Learn how to get scholarships in around a day. Through this course, by learning the system, understanding the collegiate scholarship and financial aid system, the secrets to finding scholarships just for you, and the strategy, implementing ways to successfully apply and get scholarships. Join me today for this self-paced course that helps you understand how to fund your college dreams.